some twists, some turns, some unexpected and unwanted surprises, and of course, dudes, I cannot believe this is a CW show. About by making Cavill this guy again. Hello and welcome to another episode of With Enough Prep Time. I'm your host there, the Nerd Man, and today we are talking about episode 7 of Superman and Lois, titled The Man of Steel. Now, this episode is a really kind of interesting one. I'm going to do a full spoiler review here so we can discuss some of what actually happened in the show and what went down. Plus, I wanted to just announce before I even continue that we're going to be doing a special Hot Takes Tuesdays Friends episode today, and we'll have a guest on Film Elitist, which I'm really happy to have him on. He's always cool to talk to. And we will be doing, I'll be doing a reaction as well to Superman, a Superman video, like a Zack Snyder fans video, which defends Zack Snyder's, saying, you know, does Zack Snyder understand these superheroes? And I'm going to be open-minded. I'm a big fan of these guys' channels. So I'll announce them on the video there. I'm a big fan of their channel, so I'm gonna just be honest and in my appraisal of their video, where they try and defend Zack Snyder's view of the DC characters. So I think that should be a really interesting one, which will be roughly about 7:55 p.m. my time. So that will be in about, I don't know, 55 minutes, whereas we'll be doing the Friends special reunion special Hot Takes Tuesdays, where I'll be doing a bunch of hot takes that I have on Friends. Plus, I will also be doing a watch along to the Friends reunion. I may review Fast and Furious 9, so look out for that as well. So I might be reviewing that as well. But let's talk about the Superman and Lois episode, Man of Steel. This Superman and Lois episode focused on who I think has been the absolute MVP of the show so far. Thanks, Widow. What's up, man? How's it going, bro? I'm good, man. I'm good. Hope you're well. Yeah, fantastic, Vishal. Can you do a Norbit review? Maybe one day. I've watched Superman and Lois, but I've been spoiled. Yeah. Tony, man, what's up, bro? Yeah, so this episode focuses on who has been, apart from Tyler Klin and Bitsy Tulloch, has been the MVP of this show that so far, which is Wale Parks. And we'll talk about who he is and what I think about the reveal this week about his character, because they really went into this character and obviously gave a quite clever title to this episode, which was called Man of Steel, considering who he's revealed to be. But I want to go and just talk about first this week's kind of subplot, which was for Alexander Gaffin's Jordan and Jordan Ellison's John Kent. Now, the brothers, obviously, who are the children of Superman and Lois, have been, for me, the weakest part of this show so far. I think especially Alexander Gaffin, no offense to him as an actor, I think he's a very new actor and he's, kind of learning the ropes. I'm sure he's going to improve with age and improve his craft. But at the moment, he's a little bit rough around the edges. And I think he finds it a little bit difficult to carry some of the emotional weight of the scenes that he's in. But this week, last week, he was, basically last week he's been kind of over the weeks of Superman and Lois been discovering his powers, discovering that he has these kind of Kryptonian powers that are limited by his human his human genes as well, or the human side to him as well. And of course, one of the first things that he has to deal with, one of the first powers that he has to deal with, is super hearing, which plays a big role in this episode. But thus far, with the super hearing, it's causing him to have headaches, panic attacks. He can't control it. He's hearing sound all around him, and he can hear anything, and he can't decipher or kind of control the power. So he can only hear what he wants to hear. And this is obviously a big problem for him. So he has to leave school in this episode for some time while he gets this power under control. Jordan, on the other hand, or Jonathan Kent, is going to school, and he's kind of he's essentially covering for his brother. And the storyline goes that, you know, his brother is talking to Sarah, who is Lana Lang's daughter, and is essentially, you know, trying to cover up for her brother Jordan, who she now has suspicions of, that he has got some superpowers or there's something strange about him. So that's essentially the storyline of the brothers there. Now, what did I think of this week's storyline between the brothers? This is the best I've seen them so far. And once again, Jordan Ellis, John Kent, is just the far superior actor in this duo, and makes the character of Jonathan Kent so much more likable than Jordan has done so far. He carries the scenes whenever he's with his brother, and you know, it really, really shows the distinction, because when he's not with Jordan, when he's not acting alongside Jordan, he's just a lot better and more watchable. You know, he had a lot of scenes with Sarah, played by Indy Narvet this week. And again, you just get the sense that he if it was just him as the son, I think this show might be a little bit more improved, because every time it goes back to them, it becomes a CW level show. Every time it goes to Tyler Hoechlin and you know, Superman, Lois Lane, every time it goes to Wale Parks, it seems above a CW show. It seems like this is like a, you know, a new era of CW, where the quality of the show is just so much better than what we've got with Flash and you know, Green Arrow and all of those early on shows of the CW in the DC universe. Literally, this is just miles. I cannot believe this show has been made by the CW. Like, people say that the Flash first season was good, and you know, the first episode was intriguing of the Flash, but as a huge Flash fan, I am so disappointed that I have not been able to watch this show, because it's so melodramatic and bad. This show is the exact opposite of that. This is a quality show. Yes, sometimes it gets a little bit, I don't know, melodramatic as well, but it's not half the melodrama. It's not so layered on where it's almost unwatchable. You feel like you're watching, you know, Sunset Boulevard, or you know, The Young and the Restless or something, when you're watching The Flash. So that's the great thing about this show. And what I was saying is that I can't believe that this show is produced by the same people, because I would love a Flash show that took, you know, his story as seriously as this one is taking it, with good actors. You know, it's not movie level acting, although Wale Parks is really good and Tyler Hoechlin is really good, and I believe they could be in the movies. Personally, they could be. I could easily see Tyler Hoechlin. He'd actually make a good Shazam as well, but I could easily see Tyler Hoechlin translating this Superman to the big screen. He's that good, and Wale Parks was absolutely excellent as well, which is why I have to say, even though I liked the storyline, I was a little bit disappointed, though, or I had one disappointment in the storyline this week. So between Superman, Lois, and the Stranger, as they call him. But again, just going on this this subplot with the brothers, it was very simple. It was just essentially, he's trying to control his super hearing. He hears a conversation between Jonathan Kent and Sarah, and Jordan hears this conversation and essentially gets jealous of the two's relationship. And they have a little bit of a fight. They make up at the end of the show. They usually do this. This is the usual trope of this show, is that these brothers get into some kind of disagreement with each other, like brothers do. But they always, by the end of the show, make up. And that is actually something sweet that I like about the show, that it shows this sibling relationship where, yeah, it's realistic and they can be angry and get pissed off at each other. But in the end of the day, they always reunite as brothers by the end of the episode. So I do like that about the show. And yeah, this thing with he's jealous of Indy and whatever that is, it was okay. It was okay, but the two actors carried that quite well, for what it was. Now let's get on to the meat of the show. This was one of the dopest episodes so far. Wale Parks stepped it up to a different level in this episode. So the story is of the Stranger, that he either comes from a different dimension where Superman took over the world and killed Lois Lane, or he comes from the future. I'm not sure if it's from the future, from another dimension. I can't quite figure it out. But what has happened is essentially in the world that he comes from, Superman is evil, and he has basically, Lois Lane and the Stranger are essentially trying to. They're basically trying to expose Superman to the humans, or expose his weakness so that the humans can defeat him. So that's basically what they're doing. The Stranger, who thus far has been known as Captain Luthor, so the presumption was he was Lex Luthor from an alternate dimension, is actually married to Lois Lane in this future or other timeline, and they have a daughter essentially. So we go through flashbacks in this episode showing the progression of how they're trying to fight against Superman, and also of their relationship, how they loved each other, how they had a daughter, and the relationship with the daughter as well. So it really gave a lot of, it fleshed out the Wale Parks character a lot. As for Superman and Lois, they're investigating who Captain Luthor is. They want to know who is this guy. Lois Lane now knows from last week's episode, essentially, this guy is not a journalist. This guy's got future tech weapons that can take out people with Superman level powers. So she's trying to find out who this is before she continues going along with him. Wale Parks, on the other hand, is trying to present to Lois Lane, or should I say Captain Luthor's trying to present to Lois Lane, that he needs Superman's help to stop Morgan Edge, who is the guy in the town who is been creating this army of people with who have powers, who he gives powers of Superman, essentially. So he's pretending that that's what he's investigating, and that's the person he's trying to take down, when really what we discover is obviously he's trying to take down Superman. He's trying to take down Tyler Hoechlin's Clark Kent before he turns evil, because he thinks that because essentially Superman killed Lois Lane in his universe, the Lois Lane that he was actually married to. So that's the basic outline of this episode. Now, here's the thing, right? I was really enjoying Wale Parks' character as Captain Luthor, and it really made sense to me that if you're going to do, I always say I'm not, against race bending if it makes sense and it adds to the story, right? And I thought this guy was making a really, really interesting alternate world Lex Luthor. So it turns out he sets a trap for Superman, who, after convincing Lois Lane and Clark Kent that his intentions are good, and all he wants is a meeting with Superman so he can save Smallville, or the world, from whatever Morgan Edge is trying to do, the billionaire industrialist. And he convinces him, and Superman comes for a meeting with him, and it's revealed finally who Captain Luthor is, or the Stranger is. And it turns out the Stranger is actually Steel. Now, Steel, I'm gonna put up his name because I've forgotten his name in the comics. But Steel, is a genius level. He's a genius level engineer. Let me see. Dr. John Henry Irons. Yeah, so he's a genius level billionaire who, a genius level engineer who creates kind of these Superman based weapons. So he has like an iron suit which gives him incredible super strength, ability to fly at vast speeds. Probably, I think he has like laser vision or something. He has the big hammer. He appeared, in the Death of Superman comics. So it was Reign of the Superman. Steel, kind of, when Superman had died, Steel comes into the universe, into the DC universe, into Metropolis, and essentially is one of three different Superman clones, or people who are trying to take over the mantle of Superman, and Steel was one of them. Now, I never had a particular interest in the character or like the character, but this show has given such depth and humanity to this character that I think you could actually make a pretty interesting film out of the concept that they have for Steel in this movie. Oh, sorry, in this TV show. And Wallow Parks is doing such a fantastic job of humanizing him and giving him dimension, so he isn't just a straight up evil bad guy. He's a bad guy that you can empathize with, that you understand why he's doing what he's doing. The only problem I have with it is that I really enjoyed him as a different version, an alternate world version of Lex Luthor. I thought this was fascinating for Lex Luthor to have been, in a relationship with Lois, like a black Lex Luthor to be in a relationship with Lois, that he even had children with Lois. In an alternate timeline, because Superman and Lex Luthor have such this relationship that goes back in the comics for so long. It's these the greatest arch nemesis, or arch enemies in comics. These are the archetype, the basic form, or the basic archetype of the hero villain in all of comics. And for this relationship was so much better to me when this guy was an alternate version of Lex Luthor. So, they've done well. I'm not going to take anything away from it, but I think it would have been a much more radical and interesting take to actually make the Stranger, or actually make Wale Park's character Lex Luthor. And since he was doing such a good job of an alternate world Lex Luthor, like a scientist, going back to the early comics version where he's a scientist and an engineer who builds weapons to fight Superman, but giving him a great motivation, I'm just disappointed, to be honest. That really, really took some of the steam out. And I know a lot of people on my channel who don't like race bending will say, yeah, this was a good idea, or this was a good thing that they did by making him an actual original black character, i.e. Steel, Dr. Henry Irons. A lot of people are going to agree with that, but I just don't think it's as a compelling a relationship because Steel is ultimately a hero anyway. So I get why they did it, and it's probably, in some ways, maybe I'll enjoy it in future. But I would really, really have loved to see this guy as an alternate world Lex Luthor, like an Elseworld Lex Luthor, meeting the main world Superman, and having this constant, because he just doesn't trust Superman because he's seen what Superman does in his own universe, i.e., killing Lois Lane, taking over the world, becoming this evil dictator. That to me, is a really good motivation for Lex Luthor to turn and be paranoid against Superman. And I wanted to see this Superman, Tyler Hoechlin's Superman, constantly in a battle with this version of Lex Luthor. So, I mean, it was an interesting take. I don't hold it against the show. I think it's a good thing that they've brought Steel back in such an interesting way and given him such a good backstory. Because he was quite a paper thin character before. Now you've actually got a good backstory for him. So in that sense, it's kind of like I like it and I don't like it, but I would have preferred him actually being Lex Luthor. But apart from that, this show was extremely entertaining this week. I think this was the best episode so far. And apart from that, I'm going to go to some of the comments and just finish up the stream. Going, see you later, liked and shared. Okay. Hey, dude. So, Fenya, everyone's just saying, hey. I feel this should have been the movie. It could have been. It really could have been. I would have liked that a lot. Reminds me of Anakin. LOL. Yeah. Better than Luke Skywalker. No, actually, I'm not going to tell you how I feel about that, but this Sunday I will do my update. I've now seen The Empire Strikes Back and Attack of the Clones. So I'm going to do my update. I'm going to tell you what I think of Empire Strikes Back and what I think of Attack of the Clones. And of course, I might do which one's the better movie. And it might be shocking to you which one I think is actually the better movie. So look out for that this Sunday. JG, what's up? Hey, man. Oh, Tony. Everyone's just saying hello to everyone. But I could see Flashpoint pulling the show into the movie universe. Yeah, man, dude, Tyler Hoechlin could be the DCU's, because he's a movie level actor. I mean, he's not the greatest actor in the world, but he's not so bad that you can't see him in movies. And I think he just does a really, really solid job. Like, what would be interesting for me is if they did, Tyler Hoechlin in a Superman year 3 kind of thing, where he's just started working at the Daily Planet and he's just meeting this Lois Lane. So you can see how this Lois Lane and this Clark Kent got together. I think that could be an interesting idea for a movie version of the DCEU. I wouldn't mind it at all. So the WB can leave Henry Cavill in the Snyder universe. Yeah, absolutely. Snyderverse is dead, baby. Tyler is my favorite Superman. He's a pretty damn solid Superman, to be honest. He's got a wide range. Yeah, man. By the way, guys, do me a favor. Give me a high five. Smash that like button. You know how it is. Helps the algorithm. And keep the comments coming, man. Tyler has come a long way from Seventh Heaven. I've never seen it. Is it good? I call the brother emo kid. Yeah, he's just not a great actor. He was the kid that was in the Peanut movie. I didn't know that. Why does everyone keep wanting me to watch this goddamn Peanut movie? I don't. People are keep asking me, "Hey, can you review the Peanut movie?" I'm like, "What the fuck is the Peanut movie?" All right. Salute. I think that Lex comes from a different earth. You know, JG, do you watch the show? I don't know. Tony, hell yeah. Love this show. Yep. JG, I feel it should be another universe. Okay. All right. JG, we have our Steel, so WB don't have to search for another. Look, if they're doing a Steel film based on this character, I'm down, bro. Because that Wale show, he deserves more, though. That actor deserves more. That guy could be like Green Lantern or something, or even Sinestro, or he could do anything that like that. He's a really, really good. I love him in this show. I just think maybe if they bring him into the DCEU, like Martian Manhunter, maybe this guy could be Martian Manhunter. He's excellent. I hope he has a bit of a career for it because he has a great charisma about him. I don't know what it is, but he's really great and he pulls off the emotional scenes really well. I like the stuff with his daughter this week. Lois Lane and his daughter. I thought that was really good as well. Tony, knowing WB, they will go the wrong route instead of what makes sense. Yeah, that's not. So, Empire Strikes Back is a masterpiece, hands down the best movie. Maybe I agree, maybe I don't. You'll have to wait for me to tell you how I feel about The Empire Strikes Back. Nerdman, if you put Attack above Empire, my God, the wars. Well, again, you never know with Hot Takes Tuesday how I'm gonna what I'm gonna think. Maybe blasphemy, but hey, I'm always gonna shoot from the hip and tell you what I think. So you'll have to stay tuned for my Star Wars Attack of the Clones versus Empire Strikes Back video. Nerdman, are you free later this evening? Yeah, I could be. What's up, Nerdman? Can you watch the Peanut movie? It's a masterpiece. What the fuck is the Peanut movie? Tyler was in the running for Snyder Man of Steel before Cavill got it. God, I'm so curious how he would have done. Yeah, I think he would have been good in Man of Steel universe, but fortunately for him, he wasn't in that piece of shit. Because we'd now be talking about him like we talk about Cavill. Like people talk about Cavill like they like him, but they like how he looks visually. They don't actually like his, portrayal, because everyone says, in BVS wasn't great. They just like how he looks. He looks the part. He looks great in that Superman suit, and there's no denying that. The only problem is we don't even know his Clark Kent that well. His Clark Kent is almost non-existent, and his Superman is just an emo. So I seriously think the only time I've liked him is in Zack Snyder's Justice League. But again, he's been killed and he comes back. So in that universe, I guess he's just going to always have to be Superman. So you're never going to have that great dynamic between Clark Kent and Superman. It's unfortunate. They really fucked up that Cavill's arc there, because he could have been a great Superman. But I think Tyler Hoechlin would have just been the same. That Snyder would have directed him to be an emotionalist emo character. So I don't know, it would have done him any favors. I think it's better off that he was on this show. I wonder if Vishal will mention Norbit in this feed. His name sucks though. Like I have PTSD. Whose name sucks? So Ashley, here we go. Ashley stirring up trouble. The widow. All right. I had an apple and almost died. Okay. I think you guys are talking about something. Is it the Peanut movie you're talking about? I don't know what you're talking about right now. All right, guys. Yeah, Ashley, I'll hit you up on Twitter. But guys, again, do me a favor. Give me a high five. Smash that like button, and of course, do subscribe if you're a new viewer. Most of these guys I know have already subscribed, but if you're a new viewer, subscribe for more content. We've got lots of hot debates on this, and of course, my Empire Strikes Back versus Attack of the Clones is coming this Sunday. Look out for that. And I'll be doing my friends special Hot Takes Tuesdays tonight as well. So do look out for that episode. And I don't know, maybe I'll be streaming with the Widow this evening. It depends. I'm not sure what's happening with that. But again, guys, thanks so much for joining. Thanks so much for all the comments, all the support. You guys are great. What is this? Shaolin. So when you're coming on my channel, okay. Shaolin looks like an African king, dude. I swear to God, when I saw him for the first time, he looks like an African prince. Like a real one, not the Nigerian ones. I'm talking about like a real not the Nigerian ones that try and scam people. I'm talking about a real like African prince. I like the way Shaolin looks. I haven't seen it. I saw Shaolin for the first time this week. So, all right. So, what's the last comments here? Ashley, anytime. Like the stream, none is lit. Thanks. See you later. What kind of films besides Norbit do you consider a must? You guys could talk about that somewhere else. That would probably make a good video of a show. All right, guys, that's it. So you know what it is. I'll see you on the flip side. I love you 3000. Peace.